satsang, and when Prahlad was born, he was born with that samskar of Bhagavad Bhakti. So even those who sleep, come and sleep in pravachan. Not that I am encouraging you should come and sleep. I am just saying that even if you sleep in pravachan, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan says even those people will get benefited. He is so compassionate and so, and it also shows us the importance of this. He says it's so important that even if you get a little bit of it, that also will be beneficial to you. Ek ghadi आधी में पुण्याद. So Siddharth ji says that even if adi ghadi satsang if you do, that also is beneficial. So those who sleep in this, don't wake them up. So Shraddhavan anasuyascha Shrunuyadapiyo naraha. So naraha, those who human being who listen with faith to this Bhagavad Gita. Faith means we should consider it as important. It is a most important and most sublime teaching. It is our great fortune that we get this opportunity to listen to this Bhagavad Gita. And we have got, still we can say Kali Yuga has not taken over, because even now the literature book is available, people are there to talk about it and who study. So still we are not in Ghor Kali Yuga. In Ghor Kali Yuga, people will not even know that there is such a thing called Bhagavad Gita. Forget about studying it. It will just disappear for some time, and then again Satya Yuga will come, that time it will come. But we are lucky because we have just concluded what? Dwapar Yuga, just 5,000 years ago. Because Kali Yuga is for 4 lakh years according to our tradition. So the Dwapar Yuga has just concluded. So it is not, we are still not entered totally the Kali Yuga. Therefore, we have the opportunity to study this scripture. So we should consider ourselves as lucky. So Shraddhavan anasuyascha shrunuyadapiyo naraha sopi muktaha. That person also will become free. Free means not totally free, but will become free of all his sins, all his impurities. And Shubhan Lokan Prapnuyat, and he will attain a good world. After that, will go to a better world, which is attained by those who perform punya. So punya he will gain by following and listening to this Bhagavad Gita. So what to talk about those who listen and study? They will get freedom here and now itself. They don't have to go to any other loka, but here itself they will become free. So thus Bhagavan told about whom we should reveal this knowledge, and also the importance of studying and listening to Bhagavad Gita. Now he asked one question to Arjuna. See, Arjuna asked a lot of questions to Bhagavan and he kept on answering. But finally he asked one question. And it's a very important and a very sweet question Bhagavan is asking, because if Arjuna had said no, then Bhagavan would have started again from chapter 1. Because he is so compassionate that he is asking this question not just as a formality, but sincerely is asking. So what did he ask? Let us see. Next verse. Kachchidetat shrutam partha tvayekagrena chetasa kachchidajnana sammohaha pranashtaste dhananjaya kachchidetat shrutam partha त्वयैकाग्रेण चेतसा प्रणष्टस्ते धनंजय. He says, हे पार्थ, कि कश्चिद एतब श्रुतम त्वया. Did you listen to what I said? Kashchid etat shrutam partha tvaya ekagrena chetasa, with a single pointed mind, single pointed attention. Did you listen to what I said? Because if he has not listened, then the whole thing is gone. And it happened, one may be sitting quite in front, quite but may not be listening. Like Sanjay told the whole Bhagavad Gita to Dhritarashtra, but I don't think he'll listen. I don't think so. I don't know about you, what you think. But the whole Bhagavad Gita, he asked only one question in the beginning, and then there was no hu ka chu. Whether he was awake or he was sleeping or what he was doing, nobody knows. It is not mentioned anywhere. And really speaking, I don't think he listened because there was no response from him. Because if he had heard properly and he knew that Bhagavan is not, Krishna is not just an ordinary person, but he is Sakshat Bhagavan, he would have stopped that war there and then and surrendered to him rather than having this war. So he did not listen. So Bhagavan therefore is asking Arjuna ki kaschid etat shrutam partha tvaya ekagrena. Because when we ekagra means without any distraction, full focus, when we hear that the words of our teacher has got power to transform us immediately. We don't have to then do anything. The power is there in the words which can do their work at that time itself. Ekagrata, with full attention, with full focus, with full shraddha. When we hear, that hearing itself will make us free from all our impurities and liberate us. Shravanam. Because Shravan is not done properly, we have to contemplate and then we have to meditate. But if Shravan is done properly, then Shravan itself can release the person from all his bondage at that particular moment. Because what does the teacher says? That you are Brahma. The teacher doesn't say that you will become Brahma. You contemplate, then you meditate, then slowly and steadily you will become Brahma. No, you are. Suppose somebody says you are a human being. Okay, let me contemplate, lay down notes, then meditate. Nothing, you are. Once we understand it, that very moment we are human being. Similarly, when a person hears with full attention, that itself becomes liberating. So he is asking Arjuna, did you hear what I said? With full attention, ekagrena chetasa. Or your mind was distracted. You were looking here and there. In the Ramayana there is a story of Bhagwan Shankara, Shivji, telling something, this kathas to Sati. But Sati's mind was not there. He was telling stories from Puranas and lot of jnana and bhakti and all. But her attention was up in the sky. There were some aeroplanes going, Viman. So in between, when he was telling story, then suddenly she said, I have a question. He thought maybe something about this he must be asking. He said, where are those Vimans going? Then he said, आपके पिताजी के घर में program हो रहा है बड़ा. Yajna is there and all of them are going there and you are not invited, I am not invited. So forget about them, let us continue with our katha. But she was not, she was very distracted. Similarly, one may be distracted and may not listen to this Gita with full attention. So he is asking Partha, Arjuna, that have you heard? Ekagrena chetasa. And if you have heard ekagrena chetasa, then the following two things will happen. What? Kaschid ajnana sammohaha pranashtaste dhananjaya. Did your ignorance, did your confusion which has come from ignorance got destroyed? If it has got destroyed, then you have heard attentively. Kaschid ajnana sammoha. Sammoha means delusion, complete confusion, which is born from ignorance. Ignorance of who am I, ignorance of what is my real nature. That is the basic ignorance. We do not know who we are, and we live in this world, do all our work and all, but without knowing who I am, our whole living becomes a waste. Yes. Our whole living becomes a wastage of time and good opportunity by the Lord, who has given us this human birth. So, kaschid ajnana sammohaha pranashtaste dhananjaya. Arjuna had this confusion whether to fight this war or not to fight this war. They are my own people standing in front of me. Bhishma, Dronacharya. How can I fight? Ishubhi pratiyotsyami pujarha varisudana. They are so worshipful. They have to be worshipped with flowers. How can I fight with them with bows and arrows? And they are my swajanam. Swajanam hikatam hatva. Sukhinas syamam. How can I become sukhi? By killing my own people. So like that he had this confusion about his duties, his own nature, what is the meaning of I, what is the meaning of life, what is the meaning of death. All this confusion were there, and this created sorrow, this created grief. When we are not aware of our own being, we become unhappy, we grieve. So grief was also there. So moha and shoka was there. So this Bhagavan says that if you have heard attentively, this will go away. So kaschid ajnana sammohaha pranashtaste dhananjaya. It's like we go to a doctor and the doctor diagnoses us and then gives us some medicine. And then after a week we go and we are same. So if we are same, then doctor will ask, कि मैंने वो दवाई दी थी आपने ली? हाँ ली. कहाँ रखी है वो? वहाँ पर घर में. But you should have taken it, but you never told. You just gave and I took it. So it should be taken, then only it will work and all our health will be restored. Similarly, Bhagavan says, have you heard what I told you? Did all your confusion go away? Hey Dhananjaya, please tell. So now Arjuna replies. Arjuna uvacha nashto moha smritil labdha tvat prasadan mayachyuta stitosmi gata sandeha karishye vachanam tava nashto moha smritil labdha tvat prasadat mayachyuta karishye vachanam tava. Arjuna vacha. Arjuna said, nashto mohaha, all my delusion has got destroyed. It's a very beautiful thing. This is feedback from the student. And feedback very important for the teacher, feels happy that इतना मेहनत किया कुछ उसका फल मिला. Sometimes you don't get feedback, चलता है. नहीं? So feedback. Even some patient goes to doctor, they don't give feedback. They never appear there after some time. That itself becomes their feedback. कि लौट के नहीं आ गया, यानी ठीक हो गया होगा. but after some time you find him going to another doctor. So here he asked for feedback. Did you hear and all your confusion, did it go away? He said, yes. Nashtaha mohaha. All the delusion about myself and my duties have gone. Who am I and what I have to do is very clear to me. I have no doubt, I have no confusion in my mind. And I have regained my memory of my own self. Smritil labdha. See, this is also very beautiful. We have as though forgotten ourselves. We have all forgotten who am I. And that forgetting ourselves itself is creating this sorrow. And we consider ourselves as someone else. So through this study of the scriptures, we come to remember who am I. That I am that supreme self. Even Bhagwan, it is said in Ramayana, that Bhagwan, when he took avatar as Ram, he forgot in between that he is Bhagwan's avatar. So he had to be reminded. Some stories are there like that. There is one story of, I think, Matsyendranath और उनके कौन गोरखनाथ Matsyendranath, his own teacher, I think Gorakhnath's teacher, that he told his disciple that I am going, I will just take another form, that king had died, and I will take his form and I will try to understand the life of a king and all this worldly life and all. But after a few days you come and you again bring me out of this. So he remained there, he left his body in meditation and he entered the body of the dead king and remained there as a king, and after some time he did not come back. So his disciple had to go there and wake him up, कि चलो उठो, आ जाओ. So after listening to his disciple, he woke up from there and again left that body and came back to his original body. That's a story you must have heard. The same thing has happened, similar thing has happened to us. We have as though forgotten our own real nature. And the teacher, scriptures, wake us up, remind us of our own glory, who I am. So that's what happened to Arjuna. He says, Smritil labdha, I have regained my memory, I have regained my understanding. I know who I am, I know what I have to do. And all this was possible by your grace. Tvat prasadat maya achyuta, he achyuta. By your grace, I could understand all this and regain my memory. Stitosmi, I am well established in this understanding. It is not a temporary understanding. It's not something which has just come and it will go away. I am well established in my understanding. Stitaha asmi. Gata sandehaha, all my doubts have gone, is cleared. All doubts have gone about my duties, about whatever doubts I had, all doubts have been cleared. So it is said in the scripture that when we come to recognize our own self, all our doubts gets cleared. Vidyate hridaya grantihi chindante sarva samshayaha kshiyante ja yasya karmani tasmin drishte paravare. When we come to recognize that Supreme, all our hridaya granthi gets broken, all our doubts get destroyed, dispelled, and all the karmas get destroyed. So our Arjuna also is saying that all my doubts are gone. I am established in this knowledge. I understand what I have to. I now understand that I have to follow, I have to do what you have said. Therefore he says, Karishye vachanam tava. I will do as you said. You told me in the beginning itself that you fight this war. I know from what standpoint you have told me. I have understood now and I will follow your teaching, follow your guidance. Karishye vachanam tava. So in the beginning we saw that Arjuna, though confused, he was trying to teach Bhagwan. But then after listening to the Lord, now he understood that I have to listen to Bhagwan and follow him. So he has handed over all his reins to the Lord and said, I will do as you say. Karishye vachanam tava. So this is a very beautiful feedback, as though from Arjuna. If he had said, no, still I have doubts and still confusion, then Bhagwan would have said something more and continued with his teaching. But luckily means, luckily in the sense is the whole thing is complete. Bhagavad Gita is complete, that even the worst doubts will get cleared. So, nashto mohaha smritil labdha tvat prasadat mayachyuta, by your grace. Because without Bhagwan's grace, this teaching would not have been given to Arjuna. Bhagwan out of his own compassion, he came and taught him. So, stitosmi gata sandehaha karishye vachanam tava. Thus, the dialogue between Bhagwan, Shri Krishna and Arjuna concludes here. Now, Sanjaya, who was telling this to Dhritarashtra, he continues. Sanjaya uvacha ityaham vasudevasya पार्थस्य च महात्मनः संवादमिमम श्रौषम् अद्भुतं रोमहर्षणम् इत्यहं वासुदेवस्य संवादमिमम श्रौषम् अद्भुतं रोमहर्षणम्.